Hello guys and welcome. So today I wanted to do a tutorial video for the game Northgard. It's an RTS game based in this Viking era. This game is very challenging. You might find it quite difficult at the beginning. So if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you need help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through at least parts of level 2 and go from there. So there is a good story to it. We're going to play this on hard mode. And let's go. So let's just skip the cutscenes. So there is a good story to the game as well. So the general idea of the game is you go to different zones and you need to conquer that area and do what is required to survive. That's the name of the game here. So let me just skip. Okay, right. So first things first. If we look at the top of the map, okay, you have your food, you have the amount of wood, you have the money you have, then stone and iron, and also the number of citizens you have. And we'll talk about the lore later on. Now, what's very important is the plus or minus number after. This gives you an idea of if it's increasing, so we can see that our food is increasing, versus the wood, which is actually going down. And the town hall is always producing a new villager probably like every 5-10 minutes, something like that. Depends how much you upgrade it. You can upgrade it later on. Now, you can build houses in order to have more population, but it's not a typical city builder, because you can only build so many buildings per zone. So, for example, here you can see this little area which is surrounded by this dashed line. It can only have 5 buildings in it, so we can't go ahead and it's not like a non 1800 and we build like 1,000 houses. No, we have to be very, very careful. You have to be very selective. For now, we will build one, and a villager needs to go and build it. If a villager doesn't automatically go and build it, then left click one and then right click on the structure in order to proceed with the building. Now, the next thing to be concerned about is make sure you always have at least one villager. Later on, you'll be able to assign villagers to different roles. There could be a warrior, there could be a woodcutter, whatever you want to say. But if you don't have any villagers left, you might end up in a situation where you need to build a new structure, like a new house, to get more citizens, but you can't build a new house because everyone's been assigned to a job. So we'll worry about the organizer feast later. Okay, so we built an extra house. So you can see now the maximum population we can have is 11. So the town hall will keep producing citizens until we have 11. Next, we are going to make a woodcutter's lodge. So that villager was close, so that villager was automatically assigned. Now, the other thing we need to build as well, in order to expand our horizon, is a scout camp. So the scouts are the ones who actually go exploring and unlock the new areas. Now, that's just to explore them. You do need to spend food if you want to colonize in new areas. Okay, so what we did was the building is finished. We just right-clicked that villager, and now she's a woodworker working for this woodcutter lodge. So she's gathering some wood for us. Okay, so far everything seems okay. We have plus food, plus wood, plus money coming in. But you always want all of these positives. If they are ever negative, then you could potentially be in trouble. Okay, so we now have a scout as well. So there are useful tips as well at the top, but I wanted to give you an insight, like what mistakes you will probably make in the future, like earlier on. I think there's mistakes that people can easily make. So we can see now that the scout is looking at the new area of the map. And be warned that when scouts are exploring new areas, they can die. So you see here, there's actually this place is guarded by a wolf. So we can't colonize this area because there's one wolf here. What we can do, our main character, you can see, we can get him to attack and clean out the wolf. Generally, your main character can easily dispatch wolves, no problem. Now, one thing to note is the health of your characters doesn't automatically regenerate. So if he's taking some damage, that damage will stay there until we actually get a healer. Okay, so we've got this area. Oh, so we have to be careful. Now, I can see that there are some wolves like right there, so I have to be very aware. So next, we're going to colonize this little area because you can see it's full of deer. We can farm the deer to get food. Okay. So again, he should be okay, but he can always run away if he has to. So if he starts getting in trouble, get him to run away. Okay, we should be okay. Done. Let's send him back to the base. Okay, so next we are again going to be concerned with food coming in. Now, in this game, there's also a bunch of other structures that you can get. So here, let's build now a healer's hut, because some of our citizens have taken damage because of different attacks, and then I'll assign a healer. What the healer does essentially is they just cast a healing spell regardless of the range of your players, as long as they're within your territory, and eventually heal them up. And the more healers the better, basically. But again, you have to be wary. You do not want to run out of villagers, especially if you have important roles to fulfill. Okay. So the scout is going through. Thankfully, this mob is not... Oh. Okay. Now we have to be very, very careful, because we only have one defender at the moment, and he's low health. You can see now the healer is healing the character. So when he's full health, I'm going to go attack. Now, one thing you can see is that he's actually trying to reclaim the area, the mob. So I might assign actually a second healer. Okay, so before he takes it, because we just wasted 20 food on it, let's see if we can defeat this guy. We should be okay. It's risky though. Done. Okay, so we're okay. Let's send him back. Now, what we want to do as well, with each of these little areas, you have this button here that says develop area. You can spend money to upgrade it a little bit, to just, for example, be able to get one extra building and so on. We're not going to bother with that. Okay, let's get a second woodworker. So we can see right here, we have 5 villagers spare, we have 2 woodcutters, we have 2 healers, and we have 1 scout. You can have more scouts. Now, something that's good for bringing in food is the Hunter's Lodge. So let's build that there. You can see, as I mentioned, that no villager was automatically assigned to build it. So let's select a villager and right click in order to assign it. Now, it just popped up saying law has happened. So you can see here we have 84 out of 80. So law are basically kind of like talents in a way. So the more points you get, then the more of these talents you can select. And the cost per talent goes up and up and up as you get more and more. Eventually, you can get after you get 6 of these, you can get these massive perks. You only select one of them. So we've just selected this one. Now read them and then see which one is good for you. Given that we're not really doing much battle or anything at the moment, increasing wood income I think is pretty good. Now we can see here we're actually capped on food. Now you can see here, because it's now winter, the consumption of food actually goes up, and so does the consumption of wood, because firewood is being used. You can see here 10, we have plus 10 coming in from the 2 woodcutters, but we're losing 6 to firewood. Okay, so, and there is a story to this. So it's not like, for example, we're not aiming to build the best colony ever. Like usually most areas have got an objective. So like this level, level 2, you have this clan, and they are completely pinned in by all of these wolves. So once you can free them, get like some backup to the area, then it's all good. Now, happiness is an important rating. Happiness expects, it's sort of, there is a sort of level of happiness which is expected, and it affects how much people work hard, how much they produce, and so on. And different things can lead to happiness declining. So for example, if the colony is out of food and people start starving to death, then that's obviously going to be a problem, and then your villagers will become more and more unhappy, they'll work less. And also as well, the town hall, if there's not enough happiness, then they won't increase. Like, it won't actually start producing villagers. So now we can see here, you don't have enough space to increase your population. That's because we're full in terms of our houses. So let's now build another house so we can get some more citizens. Let's assign him to build it. So these buildings are nearly finished. Now, later on in some of the later levels, you see they add in all these other things to make your life a lot more difficult, such as they make it that you get raided by other clans, or that you... Okay, so we have 2 warriors. Or that there's earthquakes, or lightning storms, a whole list of things that could interrupt you. Like they will try and conquer your side of the map. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get them to clear out just the surrounding zones, so that we can feel a bit safer. But you have to be very careful. So you see, right now food is down because of the fact it's winter. Food will go up soon. Okay, so we're now conquering this zone. 3 of us should be able to take on this guy fairly easily. Okay, so winter's ended. That's why we've gone from -6 to +1 again. So let's go back into our territory. One thing I would advise as well is to try and keep a warrior in each square, because if that square gets attacked, then all the citizens in that square or that territory will try and defend it. Simple as that. So we have our healers now, healing our people. Now, what we're going to build next is actually a food silo. Okay, we actually can't build a food silo here because of the fact that this is full. So what we're going to do instead is we're going to develop this area. We have enough money, yep. So we developed it. And now we're going to build a food silo. Because you can see here, improves food produced by specialized workers in this area by 10%. And it also increases the maximum amount of food, because we kept hitting the maximum of 500. So we might as well increase. Now there are other things as well. We can see that money is actually going down, because it says here town hall is bringing us +2, but building upkeep is bringing -1. It's bringing us to -1. There we go. So as I said, because we had the warrior in the area, he automatically came to the defense of the area. Okay, there we go. Next, so we need to be concerned about money. Is there any of these structures that can bring us money? For example. Okay, we have discovered deposits. Now, if you've made a mistake, so for example, I can say in this situation, I've probably made a mistake in terms of my structure. Like I've got too many buildings and so on. At any point, you can select a building and click here to destroy it if you want to free up some resources. Food were okay, wood were okay, but money is still a problem. So do any of these give us money? So here we go. So you can, the marketplace where you spend money to get resources, but the trading post, the villagers will earn money. But again, you can see we are stuck on how much we can get. So let's develop another area. This one is a safe one to get because you can see there's no enemies and there's no way of anyone coming in here either. Okay, so let's build trading posts. Let's put one there. We need this for the money. Let's assign someone. Now there is lightning at the moment. In bad situations, buildings can actually get struck by lightning and then they can go on fire. If that happens, then you need to assign a villager to repair them. Ally is under attack. Now the thing is, when your scouts are exploring the area, because you can see I've been mostly ignoring my scout this whole time, they can get into trouble. So yeah, I think what I should do is I'm going to actually send him home so he can get fully healed again. Now, in terms of building, you can only assign one villager per building. You can't, for example, speed this up by assigning a bunch of people to it. Okay, and it's given me a pop-up to remind me I have enough lore points. So let me select my second talent. So now, some of these buildings will not function on their own. So this trading post, for example, it won't just automatically generate money for me. I need people for it. Now, at any time, if you want to select a certain type, like for example, let's say I don't know where my hunter is. I can just left click that symbol. It'll take me straight to them. Same with any type of mob. So this is a useful little menu to use. Now, let's assign another villager to here to try and increase our income. Now we can see our food is -3 at the moment, which is a problem. Okay, so what can we do about it? I think what we need to do is get more hunters. So let's assign one person there. Okay, so it's gone to -2. Now, it's not the best, but we have so much reserves at the moment, I don't think it's a big deal. Next, colonization. Reduces the amount of food necessary in one area by 30%, or mining efficiency. Miners extract 30% more ore. Well, obviously, we're going to do this one because we're not even close to being able to mine. So, there we go. We got colonization. Now, we can see here that lore is always coming in, but there are ways to actually increase it. So, for example, these sort of structures, like they look like Stonehenge or whatever, or there are separate buildings, if you assign people to them, it will increase the rate at which you are earning lore. Now, you do have to do this carefully. Always look at your resources. Always be wary. We can see that some people are not actually happy. So, your clan is not happy. Okay, so as they're not happy, let's organize a feast and let's try and increase their happiness. There you go. So you can see we organize a feast to increase their happiness to +1, and for temporarily all of the other stats are going up and up and up and as well. Now again, we are full in terms of our military camp and the amount of warriors we can have. So again, we can increase the amount that we have. You can put a defense tower, you can have different types of attackers, and then the more of these camps you have, then the more attackers you can have, and then the easier life becomes, essentially. Now, there's a wolf standing right here, so let's get rid of them. They're right on our doorstep. Okay, so let's put them back in our territory so that they're within range of the healers. And we can see that this area here has also got wolves. So just be wary, keep an eye on your border, make sure that everyone's got everything they need. Now, I could go on and on and on and on, but I didn't want to make this into a Let's Play, just a tutorial. So you have these different buildings, these different structures, they provide different things for you. Make sure as well that you really pay attention to what is good to have. Make sure that the numbers are balanced, because you can easily get game over if you, for example, run out of food, or you run out of wood, or you run out of money, and then you find it impossible to build anything or to continue. So be very, very wary. Okay, so yeah, so that's my basic tutorial for the game Northgard. I highly recommend this game. I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's very, very fun. And you know, if you have any thoughts about the game, let me know in those comments down below. I absolutely love these sort of strategy games. So yeah. So anyway guys, if you liked that video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there, you can watch the latest upload down there, or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you guys, bye bye.